day. So, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the musculoskeletal system as somebody who is very new still to anatomy and physiology. And hopefully, this might be refreshing for you if you are also new to anatomy and physiology, as sometimes it is good to clear our minds and empty our cup, if you will, to retain new information. So, as I'm learning in PH 502 in our MAVM course this semester, the musculoskeletal system, which as you can see, I have on my placemat here that I put under my soup every day. That's as close as I've come to this, besides it being in our body, is made up of muscles, all these beautiful muscles, and our bones. Okay, lots of bones, lots of muscles to learn about and memorize as I continue through my course. So the two dhatus or tissues, as we learn in AyurVeda, that make up the musculoskeletal system are the mamsa dhatu, those are the muscles, and the asti dhatu, the tissues. And what is connecting those muscles to the tissue, to the bone, are all of these tendons and ligaments and all kinds of fun stuff I'll be learning more about. But the purpose of this video today is not to talk to you about the specific muscles or specific bones or specific ligaments or tendons. It's mostly to talk about why it is important to nourish the musculoskeletal system and what it does for us when we do nourish our musculoskeletal system. And conversely, when we don't necessarily nourish it well, what happens instead? So now that we know that the musculoskeletal system is the structure, the support system for our body, our physiology, okay, we also learn that all of the dhatus, the seven tissues that make up our body, they all nourish each other. So starting from the plasma to the blood, as it continues, every dhatu nourishes the other. So as we nourish one, all of the other ones that follow will be nourished as well. Now, on the other hand, if through improper misuse or overuse or underuse of the musculoskeletal system, it will cause disorders. And just real quickly, some of the disorders that we might experience, modern day muscular disorders include, excuse me, back pain, spasms, muscle cramps, injuries like sprains or strains, tendonitis, neuromuscular disorders like fibromyalgia, carpal tunnel syndrome, or also muscular dystrophy, chronic fatigue, and more. Those are the ones that affect the muscles. And bone disorders affecting the population today would include osteoporosis, traumatic bone fractures, such as hip fractures, among others. And also accumulated toxins, right? These can be trapped basically in the muscles and in the bones, and they can lead to pain. So we definitely don't want that. So some of the reasons for musculoskeletal disorders are imbalances in kapha, such as heavy diets or excessive daytime sleep, sedentary lifestyles, or prolonged sitting in one position, or perhaps being overweight, or also imbalance of vata, such as irregular routine, late bedtime, night vigil, stressful lifestyles, being underweight, or excessive traveling, or something that affects both kapha and vata, such as exposure to cold, long exposure to cold. So as we said, overuse, underuse, or misuse of the musculoskeletal system, along with improper nutrition for the mamsa and asti dhatus, lead to pain and musculoskeletal disorders. As a reminder, Ayurveda finds 3 causes of misery in our life are also from overuse, underuse, or misuse of time, senses, or action. So we can really see the correlation here between how we treat our bodies with this overuse, underuse, or misuse, and how we treat our entire lives. Along these same lines, we can see how when we mistreat our bodies again, our mental state is also affected. And so there's a quote in the Charaka that talks about how when we do have, a good way to take care of our bodies, we will find that a person, it says in Charaka, Vamana Sthana, 8/107. Apologies if I've said it incorrectly, but it says a person who has physical traits that are stable, strong, well covered, heavy, creates not only a good looking body, but also mental traits that are able to forgive, have patience and kindness, and not be greedy. So, what I want to touch upon here is that, our body affects our mind, and our mind can also affect our body. So, the opposite, you could think of the opposite of forgiveness as blame. So, I'm just going to go into the work that I do here now, which is alchemy of emotions and working with clients, especially women who've dealt with a lot of trauma in their lives. And we work a lot with alchemizing or changing, transforming, transcending this concept and the bitter feelings of blame toward forgiveness. And when we think of blame, what that is really we're taking a specific person or a specific action, a specific activity, whatever it is, and we're using that person basically as an excuse to make ourselves miserable. We can look at it like that. On the other hand, if we're able to, through the techniques that I teach, really hold that person in a more loving and compassionate kind of way for ourselves, for the benefit of ourselves, we're able to take those hard feelings of, bitter, anger, resentment, and blame and chip away at them. It's kind of like a boulder in your heart to have all those heavy, heavy emotions. It feels really hard. It feels really dense. And the heart is a muscle. So as we start to chip away at those feelings, we can start to feel our hearts more flow in there, more love and more good energy that will ripple out to our whole entire body. So, a simple activity of thinking of that person in a positive light and wishing them well. I know it's hard at first because they may have hurt you, but even just to think of them having a good day and sending them peace, that actually helps you because that will come back to you like a boomerang in a way. So Ayurveda would also suggest, everything that we think about when we think of health, maintaining regular daily routine, regular meal times, daily Vedic exercises, yoga asanas, and pranayama or breathing exercises. Specifically, I will share with you just breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest nervous system, as opposed to fight or flight. And when we are in a state of rest and digest, our body can do what it needs to do and help us heal. So it goes with saying that when we heal ourselves, we can heal the world around us. And this is just a simple look at how we can help heal our musculoskeletal system. Talk to you soon.